We all have a story, and at times we feel we're walking it out alone. Let's pause and think. Join us for honest conversations about adoption and parenting as we lament, encourage, give hope, and explore our true identity and worth in Christ.
Welcome back to Pause and Think. My name is Aixa, and I'm here in Guatemala City. I'm Jackie Darby's co author, and today I am privileged and honored to have Kristen Williamson to chat with, just mom to mom. Kristen, I am an adoptive mom twice. We have 4 kids. So my oldest, it's a girl and a boy. We adopted a 6-year-old, and then a year later, a 9-year-old. And my bio kids were 10 and 8.
Oh,
So I
wow.
sort of get it when you speak about the challenges and the hardship and the how your heartstrings are tugged as a mother.
Yes.
And so
Yes,
many things
absolutely.
that you don't really read in books, or go even when you go through trauma informed
Mhm.
care courses.
Yes.
What was the most surprising reaction in your own heart and mind
Mm, man.
when you came across certain behaviors or whatever
Yeah.
it
I would
was?
I would think I was surprised that I could even feel, um, like, angry at her, I guess, because of, in the beginning, before you bring the child home, there's just so much excitement and expectation of what you might think it's gonna look like, um, and I felt bad for even, feeling that, but I was just like, I don't understand how this child could act like this. Like, why is she not grateful? And I felt bad for even
Mhm,
thinking that, but anyway, I don't even
mhm,
like saying it,
mhm.
but so that was
Yeah.
surprising to me that I um, could feel that way. But I think just when you're under so much pressure and stress and
Mhm.
you start feeling things that, your flesh starts coming out.
Yeah. So would you think that, like, our romanticizing adoption and skewed expectations to some level have to
Yeah.
do with that very rude awakening with children from hard places coming into our lives?
Hmm. Yeah.
Would you say that those expectations played a role?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because I feel like a lot of people, on the outside looking in, like adoption is romanticized. Like, oh my gosh, like, because, when we told people we're adopting, they're just like, oh my gosh, like just blah, 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 on and on and on. And people still to this day, like,
Yep.
I'm so proud of you, all, blah, blah. And I'm like, we have done nothing. Like, do not be proud of us because this is totally a God thing. And I tell everyone that. Like, I never,
Mm,
ever take the credit for any of it because
mhm.
honestly, and I'm not just saying this, like, I don't know what some people might say, but I'm honestly telling the truth when I say that that is the only way that I've gotten through this. As beautiful
Mhm,
as it
mhm,
is, and that the miracle that it is, um, it's the hardest thing I've ever done
mhm, mhm.
in my
And I
Christian
know that.
walk, in my Christian journey.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with you. And um, where have you found refuge? I know that you are a woman of faith, and I bet that the truth of the gospel has sustained you, as you have mentioned. But
Yes.
outside of your own communion with God, what other aspects you think played a key role in keeping you from going a dangerous route in your own mind and heart?
Um, well, so really as far as I guess support groups and stuff, like there's not really many, available for this
Mm,
type of thing here where we live. I mean, there's online resources and there are people like Miss Jackie and then some other women that I know from my previous church who have adopted, but their children are grown now. But still they were there for me. And they were able to kind of
mm,
go back and remember what it was like, in those early stages, and especially ones who had biological children already and adopted, an older child.
Mhm.
Because Sala was 9 when we brought her home, and she's a girl. So that is
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
challenging as far as, bringing
Yep.
home an older child rather than, a baby, which
Yes.
we knew it was going to be an older child. So that was what God told us to do. But it still, makes things a lot more difficult to adopt older children, which you did as well, rather than newborns.
Yes, definitely. Yes. I don't know if you got the question a lot, but I did. One of the top questions I got that first year is, how are your kids? Referring to
Yeah.
the
Oh,
bio kids,
yes.
to my
Oh, I got
bio
that a
kids.
lot.
How are your kids? Yeah.
Mhm.
And how,
Yes.
how have you internalized that question, and what answer did you actually give out?
Um, I got that question in the very beginning, even when we were telling people we were gonna adopt. Like, when I told my family, they first question was, "Well, how do Adeline and Luke feel about this? What are their thoughts on
Mhm.
this?" And I'm like, "Well, obviously, we involved them from the very beginning." And of course, they're excited at first. So I didn't really know how to, I guess, internalize it because I'm like, obviously it matters. Like, obviously it matters how they feel. And obviously we wanted them to be okay with it. But ultimately, like, I knew God was going to take care of them because He called our family to do this. Like, they're
Mhm.
part of our family. So I really just had
Mhm.
to kind of go back to that. Like, well, God called us to do this. Like, He's going to take care of them. It's going to be okay. But I don't really know how to take it, I guess, when I get that question. I'm like, I mean, they're fine, but
Yeah.
like, I mean, no, it's always hard for everybody, um, because it
Yeah.
has been
Yeah.
difficult for them.
Of course.
Mhm,
And you want to be an ambassador in a way, an ambassador to adoption and to your
mhm.
adopted kids.
Yes.
At the same time, you don't want to gloss over the difficult
Yeah.
parts, and you
No.
want to keep their privacy at the same time, because they
Yeah.
deserve to have a handle on their own story. So I
Yes.
get that struggle.
Mhm.
Um I want to tell you that you are still very much in the thick of it, and
Yes.
attachment is hard work, and some
Oh, yeah.
people don't get it, especially
Mhm.
when you have onlookers, from the
Yeah. Oh,
outside.
yeah.
This is a child that has gone through multiple losses in their lives, and they have had to fend for themselves, and they are integrating into a life that was absolutely foreign to them in every way possible. And you're fighting for their trust, you're fighting for
Yes.
their heart as you integrate and take care of the other kids.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy task, and some
No.
people don't seem to understand the complexity that comes from working at attachment. Love
Yes.
is hard work. And
Very
so I want to
much.
encourage you today to think about love as, first of all, a decision. It's
Mhm.
something you're building.
Yes.
And that isn't pleasant
Mhm.
often. So
Yes.
what are the beauty points? Because the Lord, there's a very good book that's called Blocked Care. It's by
Mhm.
Melissa Corkum and
Okay.
another co-author that I don't recall. But
Okay.
she talks about, the struggle and the burnout and the whole thing with children from hard places,
Mhm.
integrating them in your family. And she recommends looking at something beautiful that you're grateful for every day. Something,
Mm.
something,
Okay.
something tiny, something maybe microscopic, but something
Okay.
beautiful.
Mhm.
What is something beautiful right now in your family life that you can say, Lord, thank you? This is a grace that you
Mhm.
can actually contemplate.
Yes. I would I mean, I would say that just when, like, even when I look at Sila and I see, like, how far she's come in the short amount of time that she's been home, and just seeing that automatically she had love for us, I mean, even though we
Mm.
know that that's still something that we're working on, but just being able to look at her and see the love that she does have for us, that's beautiful to me. For her to be able to love us
Mm.
already, even from the beginning.
Mm.
Um, so
Mm.
even though I know there's still the trust is definitely still um, an issue, but the love I feel like it's there.
Yeah.
So
What
that's
what is the what is the one thing that you wish more adoptive moms
mhm.
thought of before plunging into adoption? At this point of your story.
Something we thought of more before. Mm.
Hmm.
Um,
Considered or prayed
yeah,
about or
I guess just more of like with the whole attachment and bond, dynamic, like really just praying more for God to prepare you for that. Because we did hours and hours of training, but none of it can prepare you for when you're in it. So I really wish I would have more, like just in my prayer time and in my quiet time, would have asked God to just, prepare my heart more for the challenges of that because it's very challenging, because you
yeah.
didn't birth this
It
child. You don't naturally have it, and you're having to go backwards, especially when you adopt an older child.
mhm.
I'm having to go backwards 9
Mhm.
years of her
Mhm.
life
Mhm.
and do things that you would do with the baby, but we're doing them with a 9-year-old. So I think
Yep.
just praying
And it
more
doesn't
about
come
God
naturally.
preparing you for. No, it doesn't, because when you look at them, you're
No.
like, well, you're 9. Like, why do you want me to rock you? You know?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes,
it's just
definitely.
being prepared more and just I think really just soften your heart more. Like just really focus on praying
Mhm.
for that. Like God just humble me more, soften my heart more because it's gonna be on the outside looking in, you're gonna be like, I'm not doing this with a 9-year-old child, but it's necessary.
Mhm.
It's very you
Mhm.
have to really
Yes.
just switch your
Yes.
mindset completely. And I have
Exactly.
to do
Like
that a lot.
unlearn.
Unlearn
Yes.
everything you know about parenting.
Unlearn. Yes, and
Because it's
relearn your child,
yes.
your particular child, and cater to her needs,
Yeah.
because as you would with a newborn, you wouldn't expect a newborn to eat a steak in the
Mm-mm.
same manner. Our
I
kids
know.
that come from traumatic
I know.
experiences need so much
Yes.
patient care and a paced um approach to so many things that you are done. Some stuff that I was very surprised to
Yeah.
see, just going to the supermarket was
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Having access to a refrigerator was
Yeah.
was a big deal, and stuff that you
Mhm.
don't even take into account, not
Yeah.
to mention the more complex dynamics with my bio children, with their siblings now.
Yeah.
um I don't know about you, but one of the most w- bigger challenges for me as a mom was dealing with a sibling rivalry that came from a deeper wound. It's just not the same as normal,
Mhm.
sibling rivalry, but
Mhm.
a deep sense of insecurity and of fear that attacks in a way that I had not seen in my own
Yeah.
family. So
Yeah.
that took me aback. My instantaneous instinct to just defend and say, hey, like, your brother, your sister gave up so much, in my mind. I
Yes, I
never said
know,
it out
same.
loud,
That's what I wanna yes, I
but
understand.
but
Yes.
you feel like, wait a minute, you have no idea. Which brings me to the gospel. It's like, wait, you realize how we treat Jesus and how we treated Jesus, and
Mhm.
it's just like, Lord, I really have no idea what your love is capable of, because
Yeah.
you call us to this very natural, fit in our world, in our human experience to go through the process of adopting a little stranger,
Yeah.
and you understand the gospel at a different level, I think.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
what is how, you know how have you dealt or are still learning to deal with that kind of, you know sibling challenge?
Yeah, because it's still an issue, and it's had
Ongoing.
different. Yeah, it's ongoing. It's had different dynamics. So if okay, I'll kind of start from the beginning of when she first came
Yeah.
home, like with her siblings. So the first dynamic was naturally she attached to Adeline, and Adeline was 15 at the time when Sala came home, and Sala previously had um, a potential sister that was the same age because she had a lady who was in the process of adopting her, and that lady had a 15-year-old daughter at the time. So Sala had a familiarity, I guess, with having an older sister.
Mm-hmm.
So she immediately attached to Adeline and clung to her, and things were good then. But with Luke, she wanted nothing to do with him. Um, like wouldn't even look at him. And that was very like not only hard for Luke, but for me as a mother, it was very hard. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Told myself I
No
wouldn't cry.
problem.
I think it was hardest because it's like you said, you naturally want to defend. 'Cause I don't know why we feel like we need to do that for our kids, but as moms we do.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, but when seeing therapists and going to counseling and stuff, because we've been doing that, but she was able to kind of pinpoint the fact that Sala, she'd never had a brother, and whenever she would do occupational therapy there at the center, when they would ask her, like, what's your idea of a family? And this was in her paperwork, but it had been so long since I guess, looked at her paperwork, or even, I don't even think I noticed that in the very beginning when I was reading it. And I've read it several times since. But she said, like, they said, what's your idea of a family? And she said, a mom, a dad, and a sister. So, like, having a brother was never her
Mm-hmm.
idea of a family. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
knowing that, it kind of, because Luke, I mean, it hurt him. Like, it really, because they're closer in age. Luke and Sila, they're only 2 years apart. And
Mm-hmm.
it was hard for him because no matter what he did, she just, like, it was very hard. I knowing that we've overcome that is really a miracle. And it took a lot of prayer, like so many people praying. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it helped to be able to tell him that, like, it's not you. Like, you're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's not that she doesn't
Mm-hmm.
like you. She doesn't even know how to
Mm-hmm.
have a brother, like, or even process the idea of having a brother, you know? And so I had to, like, tell myself that too, because naturally I wanted to get angry and defend Luke and be like, you're not going to treat him like this. Like, he's waited 3 years
Yeah.
for you to be here. And how could you do that? Like, all those things
Yeah.
naturally that you want to say. Um, but then I have to be able to switch my mind back to, like, it has nothing to do with that. Like, it's not Luke. Sala doesn't even know what she's doing. Like, she doesn't even
Exactly.
realize, but it was so
Mm-hmm.
bad. It was to the extent of, I had pictures of them in my car in my visor, and I have, like, Adeline's picture, Luke's picture, Sala's picture, and I had Luke and Sala's picture on one side just because it fit better right there, and Adeline's on the other. And she asked me to move her picture by Adeline. Like, it was
Mm.
to that
Yeah.
extent, and that was
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
hard for me. So in that moment, that's when I kind of, and I didn't get upset because I think I had already just been upset about it. So in that moment, I was able to say, Sala, what is it? Like, what makes you not want to
Mm-hmm.
be around Luke? Like, what makes you feel that way? And so we were kind of able to, like, dissect it a little bit and just kind of dig deep. And now she loves it. Like, now, and it was hard because it kind of made him build up some, like, resistance towards her. Um,
Sure. Mm-hmm.
because for so long he was rejected. And so then he
Mm-hmm.
got to where when she was wanting to play with him, he was just kind of like, And that's natural. Like
Mm,
that's naturally how it is when
yeah.
you get rejected so much, you end up putting a wall up, But anyways, all
Mhm,
that's better. And now Adeline and Sala aren't. It's
mhm.
they're having some, even though Adeline's 16 and Sala's 10, um, there's a lot of no, there was jealousy in the very beginning, like Sala, which you would think it would have been the opposite. You would think like biological children would be jealous. But it
Mhm.
wasn't. It was Sala. She was
Yeah.
very jealous of what we had. Um, and I'm sure like as a
Sure.
daughter, as a daughter and mother, most mothers and daughters have the bond. And, so I had to be able to take my mind to like, well, she's coming in and she doesn't even know, but self-consciously she's doesn't have what me and Adeline have. And she's watching it and she's trying to say, like, where do I fit in? Like, where do I
Mhm.
belong? So there was jealousy from the very beginning, and it's hard because I think with Adeline now, especially being the oldest, and she's like, "Mom, you can't let her act like that. Like, she needs to be in trouble." Like, so I have the pressure of Adeline and Luke being
Yep.
like, "Why do you let her act like this? This is not okay. She needs to be disciplined. She needs a whipping. She needs," so I not only have pressure already, then I have them on me because I'm not
Sure.
parenting her the same as I did them. So
Sure.
yeah, it's
Sure.
very hard to adopt
Yes.
when you already have children.
Yes, yes, it has a quota of challenges they're very hard to navigate. And I just want to encourage you and the moms listening to us that the Lord will guide and grant
Yes.
wisdom for each situation and each
Yes.
sibling group and challenge.
Hmm.
And we kind of forget that this is a very complex little human coming
Yeah.
into a very complex
Yes.
group of humans that are already, established. And so
Yeah.
that is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
not an
I'm
easy
sure.
thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and at the same time, it's worthwhile. You know
Yeah.
it's worthwhile. You know this child
Yes.
is worthy of protection and love in the
Yes.
family. And it's really hard to pull yourself apart from the situation and just see it for what it is.
That's
It's
right.
not personal, but man, it hurts. So
Yes.
I understand your tears. I've been there so many times.
Hmm.
And so just in closing, what would you say is a prayer that we can actually go before God and say for adoptive moms of older kids?
Um, I would say just prayer for just God to soften our hearts to the child's needs and the things that we're not able to understand it, but God knows, and God knows their needs. He knows their hearts. He knows what they've been through, because there's things that we don't even know that she's been through or not. So really just praying for God to soften our hearts towards their needs instead of making it about our own needs. Just really
Amen.
putting the focus on
Amen.
the child's needs. Because in that moment it is going to be hard to be able to think like
Yes.
we're talking right now, because right now it's not hard. Right now it's easy to
Mhm.
think about Sila and what
Mhm.
she's been through and the reason she acts the way she
Yep.
does. When I talk about it, it makes sense. Um, so
Yes,
really
yes.
just being able to remember that in that moment. And it's not always going to happen,
Yeah.
but God has been able to always bring me back to that
Mm.
mindset. Like even when I get angry or get upset, he's always able to bring me
Mhm.
back and remind me of
Yeah.
the reality of what I'm in.
Yeah.
Because the reality
Yes,
is
he will.
it's difficult, and
Yes.
it helps. It really does help when he brings me back to it. I'm like, thank you, Lord, for reminding me like what her situation is and how hard this is for her. Because I can't
Yes.
imagine being being her. you know? So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I would also pray for everything you need
Yes.
um, to be provided, be it
Yes,
listen
absolutely.
ears that hear you without judgment, wise counsel,
Yes.
specific, heartwarming moments and
Mhm.
events and people around you, because we cannot do this alone. And in part, this is why we do the podcast, because maybe
Yes.
somebody that doesn't have another mom to cry with will listen to us and be understood. And so we
Yes.
want to invite you, if you need any kind of support, if you want to go in and just share the episodes that we have on hand, and contact us with your story. We would love to listen to you and to pray for you. And so thank you, Kristen, again, for your precious
Yes.
time, your precious testimony. We hope and pray that the Lord keep providing everything you need according to the riches in Christ, and that you and your
Yes.
family
Amen.
be kept in his hands as he has promised. And so
Yes.
we really appreciate you. We appreciate your time and your heart, and we look forward to
Thank you. I
meeting
appreciate
you.
you. Yes. Can't wait. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Pause and Think. For more resources and information, go to whosami.org.